Oh my goodness, there's so many bees on these guys. Look at all of them. They really like this. Wow. I'll have to remember that. This must be a great plant for pollinators. I love the alliums too. They're some of my favorites. And they've got so many varieties of bees on them. Oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever seen so many at once. That's so cool.
It's a workshop.
Oh, do they? Shouldn't be surprised, but they have an entire section dedicated to building and taking care of fairy gardens. There's so many fairy gardens in this town, and there's so many little, they even have little workshops. These are so cute. There's all this different furniture and things you can get for your fairy garden, like little roses, a door, windows. There's little birds, there's little turtles. There's so many little decorative pieces that you can come over and buy. There's even like, yeah, like there's little ponds, flamingos. This is so cute. There's even like signs. There's fairy notes. Oh my gosh, this is so adorable. It's a little pot of horrors where you've got a whole bunch of your carnivorous plants in here, pitcher plants. Oh, look at all of them, Venus flytraps. That's so cute. I kind of want one. Then we've got our baby philodendrons. Look at them. Look at the tiny guys. They're going to become big guys, especially if I put them in my living wall and then they get to spread everywhere. They're tiny little guys now, but they get big eventually and they'll turn into my long ones. Oh, this is going to be so fun. So I may kill most of the orchids I go near, but this one is so pretty. Oh, there's even spotty ones, and they're on sale. Hey. Gigantic leaves, really big flower. Have I perhaps found Chips a replacement for Scuba Steve? There's so many plants to pick from. I'm not even sure what I'm gonna start with, but I've got to get so many of them. Look at this guy. He's just all spirals. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Fold apart sundo. Oh, I don't think you'd be happy inside, but you're so neat looking. Little chipmunk. Of course there would be a little chipmunk here. Oh, he vanished somewhere, but he was really cute. Also, these are really pretty. Oh my goodness, everything is so pretty. Now we're starting to work our way into some of the ferns. This is where I'm gonna find something good, I think. My goodness. Orchid flowers. They're not actual orchids, but they're like orchid flowers. These are so pretty. That was so amazingly difficult. I did not anticipate it to be that difficult. I have a migraine now. I'm a little dizzy. I'm happy even if I have a migraine because I have so many plants. The trunk is full of plants and I was constantly going, but is this the right color? Is this going to be the right shape? Is this going to be enough of a spill so it's going to go over the edge? And do I have enough things going up? Do I have enough things that will like kind of fill in spots? Do I have enough like color? And can I keep a bromeliad alive or am I going to kill it? Is it going to be too moist? Is it not going to be moist enough? Basically, that was chaos, probably because this is the first time I've ever tried to do anything like this. So hopefully my experience with putting together a living wall and making the investment in a beautiful wall of greenery will help you guys out with figuring out if you want to do a project like this. And I hope I don't fail. Look at these little guys. I don't want to kill them, but hopefully any of my failures will be an educational experience for you guys. And hopefully all the successes will be really fun to share with you. All right, Chips is on his way back. He took a nap in the patio furniture while I spent like 2.5 hours trying to pick plants out. Oh my goodness. Okay, and we're home. So this is it, you guys. So what were we doing at the plant store? We were picking out plants for my living wall that you can see up behind me. Turns out Chips is a hero because he waited for 2 hours while I debated about plants. I put dozens of different plants inside the cart, outside of the cart. I got a migraine trying to figure out what plants I wanted to keep, what plants I wanted to get rid of. And finally Chips suggested like putting them in the cart and then walking away so it would be like a distance so I could see them, sort of like what they would be see if they were in my living wall already, and that really helped. So 2 hours later, I have picked out some plants. We have a big giant philodendron, we have a house plant, we have got some bromeliads. In fact, we've got 2 bromeliads, and we've got a maidenhair fern. Oh, hang on. No, not a maidenhair fern. I wasn't able to get the maidenhair fern, but I got the bird nest fern. I wanted to wait on the maidenhair fern because they're a little delicate. I wanted to see what the first oomph of plants into our living wall looked like. But this is it, you guys. We're celebrating my new office. We're celebrating the Pixel biology community by putting the living wall in here, and I think it's going to be great. I'm all sweaty because it's warm in here. It's already kind of warm in the afternoon, like a greenhouse in here, so I think that it's really going to be great for the plants. I have some potting soil to put into, really high quality potting soil to put into the living wall bases. You can see there's the bird nest fern. It is really cool. And then we've got one bromeliad right here. Dun, 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 big tall one. I like it. It's kind of like a grapefruit color. And then we've got another little bromeliad right here. So I'm really happy about that little guy. And then we also have some of these kind of just, they're one of the sedum varieties. And lemon balm, I think, is like one of their names. There's a lot of things. Lemon coral sedum, excuse me. So we've got those guys. We've got a really easygoing Z plant. These guys are pretty much impossible to kill in most settings. So I was kind of banking on some of the easier indoor plants. And then of course we have Mowgli, who may get to stay there. He may move because he prefers drier environments. He doesn't do well in dirt. He prefers to have like really nice dry areas for his little self. But this is it, you guys. Our office is going to be coming together. The whole reason we were at that nursery for 2 hours, and Chips was so good, he sat down and he was like, I'm just going to study the inside of my eyes for a while. And he rested and helped me out when I started feeling super stressed and was so patient, even though that totally wasn't really his thing. But I can't wait to put this together and show you guys the difference. So let's do this. So this is one more quick before we get started sort of image where you can see we've got the 4 woolly pockets up on the wall. We have our awesome birds who are kind of checking some stuff out. They're going, okay, what's going on over here? Getting pretty curious. And we've got our bookshelf to the left. We've got a bookshelf down here that can hold any spillover plants that may be needed. And if we aren't able to use the philodendron, I'm hoping the philodendron will come down enough to kind of hide this cord. If we can't get it to hide the cord enough, we might buy a planter and get another philodendron to do the job for it. So this area is basically going to look like the interior of a greenhouse when I'm done. But let's go ahead and put the plants into the woolly pockets and see what happens. And 2 days later, I finally am able to catch you guys up on how the living wall turned out. And most of you are actually already going to have seen it because I just featured this glorious creation in the 80,000 subscribers thank you vlog that we just did on the main channel. Oh my goodness, you guys, it's just been so busy. It's been so busy, huh, guys? Look at all my little birdos. I really love having tilted the light a little bit so you can see them better. There's still a ton of glare. It's just kind of the reality of having their bird light, their feather bright light on them. And actually feather bright lights, which are very expensive but really good because they're like tiny little mini suns, are what I'm using in the accent lights for the plants too, because then the birds will get just a little bit of the indirect, and it's very good for the plants because it's basically like a tiny sun in a little like curled up light bulb. So awesome. I'm trying to get a cord long enough to be able to turn this guy on, or hopefully even a different lamp, so it's like a little accent lamp. I didn't know what accent lamps were until I was looking up on Amazon for I was like, what's a tiny desk lamp that I can kind of use like a spotlight? And it turns out they're called accent lamps, and people do use them to just kind of like lighten up the top of a bookshelf, like behind a decorative item they may have, or like behind plants they may have. So I feel super fancy, like I just graduated into some sort of like hoity-toity home decorating sort of like apprenticeship of some kind. So I'm looking for accent lamps so that I can replace the 2 little like bird bulbs that I have put up. But that's a random story. Anyway, the living wall is doing great. I'm really happy. So far everything seems to be settling in pretty well. Mowgli still has a little bit of damage from getting overheated. I think I need to bathe Mowgli a lot. My staghorn fern, he really likes to stay very moist. In fact, I'm gonna grab my I have a couple watering can things. So, there we go. See, I've got my little green watering can, which I may or may not have shown off to you guys. And then I've got the spray bottle that I got so that I can mist the geckos. And Mowgli also gets misted And I love that I can just spray him. I don't have to worry about anything because I've made sure there's nothing electronic under him. And these felt things, like, they're fine. They're really, really cool. I really like them. So Mowgli, he is the only one, because of the move, and I kept him in the car, in the back of the car, right in the direct sunlight. I didn't think that it would bother him so much, but it really traumatized him. So he's the only one who's kind of having a bit of a fussy time of it. But the pot host is doing great. Look at it. It could care less. It just has all of the room it needs. It has a ton of dirt. There's like a whole bag. How many is that? Like eight quarts? Like I used an entire bag of this potting soil. Yeah, 8 quarts fit inside of just one of these, and there was room for like another. So I probably could have fit like 12 quarts of dirt in here just to cover the bottom. So that was really cool. Those hold a lot more than you think they would. So I'm hoping I'll be able to slip in some little plants, like some more tiny ferns. This is my bird nest fern, which is so cute. They're called bird nest ferns because if you look up there, oh, look at all the green. I love it. If you look up there, you can see it kind of has a bird nest inside, like the little eggs, like a bird nest. So I really love that guy. But everybody has settled in really, really well. There's still gaps where you can see kind of the black fabric, which is really kind of a felty fabric, but that's going to be filled in as time goes on. And when I feel more comfortable with how the pot host is kind of taking care of itself, I may even go back and get another pot host and cut it up and kind of break it apart so that I can sort of tuck little wisps of it throughout this area, and then even repot it so that I can maybe hang some in different parts of the room, or help out my philodendron wall by having some pot host mixed in with it and kind of getting more of that corner covered with plants. So I love plants, and my plants are doing really well, and this is really fun. I would have never had the confidence or the follow through to do an experiment like this before. That really is probably 70% of the oomph to get this done was just the sheer excitement of wanting to share it with you guys. So that was really, really cool, because I don't think I would have done this if it wasn't for wanting to share this with all of you and show you can bring this much living greenery into your home if you give it a good try. So I'm super happy. I may even get another 1 or 2 of these guys and try putting them downstairs for like kitchen herbs. I think that would be really fun. Or even some lettuce, because you can constantly just tear off the edge pieces of lettuce and like eat off of the external leaves of lettuce, and they'll keep growing new leaves. So I may think about that. Maybe some mint, basil. Basil gets really big though. You know, maybe chives, even greens. Maybe I could grow some of, what are those things that, I'm a vegan, I should be having those green drinks where you like put the grass. You know what I'm talking about? The wheatgrass, that's what it's called. Well, actually, I can't really tolerate gluten very well, so maybe I won't put wheatgrass into my food. We'll see. I'm actually going to start doing some sprouting experiments, and I'm going to start sprouting my chia pet, and I'm going to grow my sage in a can that Chips gave me, and I'm going to grow, this is actually from Gamer K, aka Melanie, and I'm going to grow the little grass piece that I've got as well. So we've got a lot of little garden projects going on in the room that aren't even related to the living wall, and I'm really excited to get started on them. But yeah, so there's the living wall adventure, you guys. So far everything seems to be doing just fine. It's been about 3 days now, 2 days of them being completely just left alone. I knocked that little guy down, sorry buddy. And then yeah, 1 day when they got transferred in, nobody seems to be going into shock. Nobody is suddenly withering up and wilting. The bromeliad, this is probably normal for bromeliad. And actually, apparently you're supposed to keep bromeliads really, really wet. So, I mean, that's really easy at least. I actually left the bromeliads inside their pots too, so that way I could monitor the water levels a little bit easier and keep them from getting too soggy and keep them from getting too dry. And I think, yeah, I planted you. So I actually did leave like the Z and the philodendron in their pots, because the philodendron doesn't like to be in soil. He prefers to be like on the side of trees. So I didn't want to put him in the soil and make him upset and get him too waterlogged where his root ball is. So you can keep things in the pots, and then just kind of like the dirt is at the bottom for the philodendrons. And then the philodendrons, some of them are actually sitting on top of empty plant pots. There's like 4 or 5 empty plant pots hiding inside of these, because it helped me to angle the plants at the angle I wanted. This philodendron, I really wanted to kind of come out like this, but when I put him into the little pocket, he just kind of went straight down and was stuck between the 2 parts. So he actually is sitting on 2 empty plant pots from these guys, from the sedums. And I use their empty plant pots and put them down here, and they're supporting the philodendron so it comes out at an angle, and I just love it. I just really love it. So Awesome experiment. I'm rambling too long about it. You guys will get to see it quite literally grow as all of the vlogs go by. And speaking of vlogs, I hope to have more of them. It's just been like getting used to being here, and then I got out of the vlogging habit, and it really does have to be a habit, and you can't go, oh, I'm gonna be able to do something interesting today, because most days when you do something interesting, like 70% of the time, you don't know it was gonna turn out interesting, so you just kind of have to start recording and then just follow through and see what happens. But I guess you can say that for almost any adventure. You can't really tell if the day and its adventures are going to turn out really super interesting until the end of the day when you're reflecting on it. So anyway, there's that. I'm really happy. I hope I've inspired you guys to at least encourage a little bit of garden greenery. This is not like I was born with a green thumb. It's actually coming from a lot of just experience, and we have the power of the internet. You can look up any of these guys. They actually have like bromeliad ID websites, so I can make sure I know exactly what these guys are and how to take very good care of them. And that's how I learned how to take care of them. I mean, to be honest, no one at the nursery even spoke to me. I was like, these are real plant people, because every time you would see an employee, they looked frightened and they would dart behind like a palm tree, and they were super shy and friendly at the checkout, and they knew their stuff. You could overhear the people who had cornered them asking them questions, and the employees were like encyclopedias. But it was really funny because I didn't get it, like, it's not like they tried to sell me all this stuff and told me how to take care of them. I just used the power of the internet, and now I know how to take care of these little guys. So we'll see how they will grow, and I will try to get back into the regular habit of vlogging, and that will really encourage me to take on different projects and go on different adventures, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.